Welcome, Pisces, to your Pisces new moon 1 month forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. At 28 degrees, this new moon is the seventh and final successive new moon at that degree. What a sequence! But it began last September in what was for you your sector of relating. This event is very much about you, your identity, and your core potential. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. At the end of this video, you'll have a clearer picture of what you can expect in terms of relationships, finance, work, and energy over the next 4 weeks. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now to help it continue to thrive. So a new moon is essentially the sun and the moon in unity. They're collaborating. The sun, our innate thrust, the moon very much to do with our emotions and nurture. But because the moon rules the water sign of Cancer, in your zodiac sign, she's very comfortable. But on the screen is your event chart. And the sun and the moon are actually so late in the sign of Pisces. They're in your third decan, and that's subruled by Mars. So that's intriguing. That brings a more earnest energy to the event. And Mars is in residency at the moment, really encouraging you to be a lot more on the front foot, feel more attractive, be more direct in going for what is right for you. What's not to like? Well, it's just that recently Mercury, the planet of communication, has been retracing its steps since the end of February in your zodiac sign, and it may have felt a little bit like 1 step forwards and 2 steps back, which may have created some frustration. Mercury retrogrades, oddly, when they get to unravel, and of course that will be when we come out of the post-retrograde shadow in April, we often can look back and see that some of the delays were actually for a bigger reason than we could know at that time. But if there is something you're very invested in at the moment that's new, fresh, and exciting, but it hasn't quite gained the traction you hoped recently, which may have caused some frustration, Mars, know this event can really see you experience the cosmic green light. And the reason for that, Pisces, is that Mercury goes direct on Friday, just after the vernal equinox. Mars is forging an amazing link to your traditional ruler, Jupiter, now uninhibited from the retrograde that it's no longer in. The thrust of Mars, the enthusiasm and belief of Jupiter, the fifth house is about showcasing your brilliance, whether it's your allure or whether it's to do with your creative talents. The combination of those two is going to give you a lot more traction, but also can see you persuasive and very hard to ignore. But also the combination of the moon and the sun, the queen and the king of the sky in Pisces, it's important to be in touch with how we feel. You have a great experience of that, but sometimes maybe your modern aquatic ruler's energy, Neptune, can see you oscillating a little bit and unsure how to actually move forwards. And Neptune is applying to the combination of the sun and the moon. So if you are thinking about a new idea, for example, or an idea that's been ongoing for some while, you're trying to re-energize, just be aware that Neptune could see you doubt yourself a little bit on its value, but it's not something you can't get beyond. But Uranus is linking fabulously well to this couple. Uranus, for the last 7 years, has probably seen you create so many moments of spark and ingenuity, but it also may have seen you feel quite restless at times, even all the way to being bored. However, the combination here means that if you've got an idea, but you need to communicate it, you can communicate it with excitement, but quickly, imaginatively. There's a buzz around you that's going to be very hard to resist. There is a more psychological energy that's there for the long term, with Pluto deep in your 12th, linking with Saturn in the second. Don't underestimate your past experiences and knowledge. Even if they're not being obviously used in whatever you're doing now, they're all part of what shaped you. And actually, they may be more about your core values and what's given you any financial security that you have at the present time. But if you are feeling that things just haven't been moving for you, Just know that the path of fortune's high in the sky, particularly professionally, in a great link with Venus, the lesser benefit in the sector of finance. Although Saturn can, of course, be inhibiting in that regard over the next 2 years, through to April 28, Venus here at the moment is linking to your ruler too. So that link also with the path of fortune is very encouraging. Venus and Jupiter in a square also points towards the potential for speculation. Now, you may not see yourself as being a risk taker. One of the things that frustrates me about pop astrology is that, well, Pisces people have to be dreamers, have to be mystics, have to be carers, can be hugely empathetic. Yes, but you can also be captains of industry, leaders of governments, because the mutability of your sign helps you to deal and flex with some of the challenges that life throws at you. And there's also a cooler, more detached side of your nature. But I think your warmth can be activated by that square between Venus and Jupiter, but also a part of you that may want to decide to calculate taking a more speculative punt on something, or is it that you want to go out and have a thoroughly indulgent time with a good friend or even someone you're involved with romantically? So just to recap on all of it, Pisces, for you, I feel that new moons generally, of course, are about setting intentions. So it can be about new beginnings, but it can be about revitalizing ongoing things. Because Saturn was in your sign for the last couple of years, it really has been slow going and you've had to be toil away patiently. I feel in that sense, because Saturn is very much about karma, outcomes, and consequences, you may actually, because of this event occurring right at the end of the overall zodiac, you may actually reap some benefits of what you've worked on over recent years. It's not all going to be what you start now. So it could be very much about a period of culmination in a very positive way. Of course, we have the vernal equinox, the sun moves into your second, merges with Neptune, then Saturn. For a week, if you are looking to improve your finances, you might not feel you're getting the evidence. And in fact, you may really doubt some of the things you're going for. Keep the faith. That's what Jupiter's saying to you now, right through to the end of June. But that link with Mars and Jupiter is fantastic. And the link between these guys in Uranus, equally very, very encouraging. And Venus, remember, a planet that's exalted in your sign. Yeah, it's a bit go-getting in Aries, but I actually like it there. And that's kind of saying, if you want something, Jupiter and Venus egging each other on to just say, look, let's go for it. And as far as work's concerned, that path of fortune high in the sky. So if you're a natural born bohemian, I think this is an excellent new moon. If you're someone who has to exist in some kind of corporate structure, think perhaps a little bit more challenging. You are perhaps being asked to think about, could you step out into your own power? When it comes to romance, that's a lovely, delicious right angle between Venus and Jupiter. It can be flirty, but also quite indulgent and maybe quite intimate. When it comes to everyday money, Venus is in that second house and suggesting that square to Jupiter that you may think of something speculatively. If something's being blocked, it will move because of Mercury direct and Mars in that great link with Jupiter. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Pisces. You can get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning. Get that cosmic moment of reflection with your morning drink. I've written them for many years. Please see the link below for more. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see the testimonials below. If you'd like to watch the Mars in Pisces video, if you've yet to watch that, Jupiter Direct, that's on the screen. If you'd like to order your personal horoscopes, for natal versions, the life roadmap and the forecast, great value, very accurate, but the life roadmap will give you searing insights to the patterns that are played out in your life, the forecast, the opportunity of when to apply your moves over the next year. Please apply Draco 26 at the checkout for the Draconic version, the Soul version, but for the natal, please apply Astro 26 for 50% off. Thank you so much. All the best and goodbye.